Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day. Justin P. and my special guest, Miss Shannon Finch. This is episode 27 of the YouTube channel for the audio version. It's season 1, episode 29. To that description, it's listed right in front of you. Hey, today we're going to preview the Ravens Wildcard game against the Bengals Sunday Night Football on NBC. So, we prime time. So, we're just going to get into that and, how we think we're going to play out, positional matchup. We're going to talk a little bit about Lamar's injury update. And, of course, Roquan Smith's, recent extension. So, let's talk. We're going to start off with that before we get to the playoff game. So, let's talk about Ravens extending Roquan Smith 5 years, $100 million, and I believe $45 million guaranteed. So, floor is yours, Shannon.
I think that was a great decision. I think it's something that we all expected to happen. As I told somebody who was questioning like why his deal got done before Lamar, it was an easier deal to get done. I mean, he's not asking for it or probably doesn't want as much as Lamar, and obviously it wasn't like a guarantee type of thing, but it still made him the highest paid linebacker. I also think that helps with the narrative that the Ravens don't want to pay people because for whatever reason, since Lamar hasn't been paid, people want to run with like we have issues paying people, which we know that's not true. We pay guys. Um, but I'm happy. I mean, overall, when he came in, we felt his impact immediately. I know a lot of people have said, we didn't play, top notch offenses or quarterbacks once he came. To me, you only can play who's lined up against you. And when he came in, he dominated. He affected Queen. Queen became better. He just made the defense instantly better. And when you have one person who can do that, you have to lock them in. Trading away assets, I knew that was going to be a priority. And I'm just happy that it got done now and not in the off season because we can then focus on, getting Lamar signed.
I totally agree. Like I said, it's easier to pay a linebacker than a quarterback, like because
Hmm.
it's like a whole different, it's a whole different tax bracket. We all know. So I hate that people try to intertwine both of them. If I was the cost, I'd have done the same thing. I'm pretty sure you would have too, because like I said, it's easier.
Hmm. Yeah,
Especially other options. Always use the franchise tag. That's 45 million. I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to turn out 45 million.
I
So
don't
that's
even.
fully guaranteed. It's going to So yeah, you can always go that route. So it buys them a little bit more time. But Roquan, yeah, they had to get him signed. Like you said, you gave up two draft picks, a second and a fifth. So you had to go ahead and lock him in, which was very pivotal. And like you said,
Hmm.
our defense have gotten better. But, like you say, yeah, they can say they played Andy Dalton, Sada Rashad. Who cares? I mean, it's just you play who in front of you. Like you said, we don't make the schedule. So
Right.
defense went from being bottom of the league to now top three, top five with his presence there. And like you said, Queen,
Hmm.
everybody was stopping and running a little better outside of the Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's been flying around making plays. He's been doing that since he's in college. So that's why I
Hmm.
was so getting him here. Like, man, I wanted Bobby Wagner. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted Bobby Wagner, but Roquan is younger and faster. So I was like, man, that was even better. So
Like somebody we can build a defense around.
definitely playing in the middle for the next 5 years. I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. So
Right.
I'm glad EDC got that out the way. Now we can focus on getting 8 paid.
Hmm.
All right, let's talk Lamar's injury status. Like, what's your whole thoughts on his injury? He's saying it's like going to be an uphill battle. So just give me your thoughts on that, Shannon.
I saw his tweet. I don't know if you saw what he tweeted not long ago. So we know he's not playing on Sunday, right? I actually figured that this was a situation. Earlier, a couple of days ago, I believe it was Jim Trotter had a segment on ESPN. He was talking about Lamar, and when I heard it, I was like, this makes the most sense to me. The reason being is because a lot of people on TV, fans, everybody would like to believe that Lamar wasn't playing because of his contract. I never believed that. I don't get the vibe from him. It's not to say that he doesn't want to get paid. Like, who doesn't want to get paid? But I don't get the vibe that somebody who was in an MVP year will wear shirts that says nobody cares, work harder. He seems like all he do is put his head down and go to work. That's why it was hard for me to believe when they were saying he wasn't showing up for rehab. I was like, he doesn't give up the impression that he would be that way. But you take the reports with a grain of salt because we don't, know what's going on. But I don't get the vibe that Lamar would, not play if he could play. I didn't like that a lot of people were calling him a quitter. I feel like if he's really hurt, he shouldn't be out there because that doesn't help his future whether he's here or not. So it's not beneficial for him to go out there just for one game on a bad knee when his athleticism is something that he needs to be the special guy that he is. So it's very unfortunate. I feel bad for him because I don't know how this helps him with his contract discussions. Like, like last offseason, he had a leg to stand on with wanting to get whatever Deshaun got, and everybody could say the Ravens didn't win the game without Lamar Jackson. This year was a little different. It hasn't been pretty, but it was a little bit different. And with this being your second injury that hindered you from finishing the season, it got to give the organization cause for pause with what they pay him. Doesn't mean they don't want him, but that's just going to be an interesting time when it's time to negotiate. But I wish Lamar speed recovery. Obviously, I hope he can travel with the team Sunday night because we could definitely use him there to help motivate the guys. And I hope this offseason we can get the job done. I really do. I don't want him to leave. I'm not, I know some of the things I say may come across like I don't want him here or I don't like Lamar. That's not the case. It's just I feel like the Ravens have every right to feel how they felt with not wanting to give him what he wanted. But that doesn't mean that I don't think a deal should get done and that I don't want him here. So I wish him a speedy recovery, and I hope that we can get a deal done this offseason.
Well said, Shannon. For the people that say he quit on his team, I'm gonna just say three letters, and and it's gonna instantly just pop into your head. RG3.
I told my brother the same thing.
He rushed back and look at him, boom, career never been the same. So
Right.
don't do that, Lamar. Not for one game, like I said, because you come back, you ain't practicing a month, and you go second guess yourself playing. So it's like, what are the pre-sale chances? Yes, of course, but it's the collateral damage is not worth it. So just
Right.
wait rest, let Anthony Brown go and get this experience, and we just got to try to find a way to win the game another way. It's just that plain and simple. Because don't why risk it. I think the Bengals they see him up there. Somebody's gonna take a shot or something, or do something. They're
Yeah,
not they're gonna. You already know amongst themselves. They're gonna say, "Man, we get a shot, take it."
yeah,
You know,
definitely.
bad. See what so, and why put him in that risk? It's not worth it, man. We'll let Anthony Brown start. Let him get it, and he didn't look too bad. He had a couple turnovers, but he showed that he could push the ball a little bit further than Tyler Huntley could. But
hmm
to piggyback on what you said, yeah, it's like the organization can now they could use that. Yeah, you didn't finish the last two seasons. They could, but I don't think they would because they know for one, the draft quarterbacks in this draft, you might like five of them. Four of them going in the top 10, unless we trade up, which I doubt because of the trade cap, or you plan on moving them all to a team like the Texans or the Bears or something like that. Other than that, you're not going to get the best of the bunch. So
hmm
it's rare that you get guys in the later rounds like the Brady's and Derek Carr that turn out pretty good. So I think either way, and then like I said, alone merchandise and attendance. Like you got people from other. You've been to Ravens game, Shannon. So you saying you got fans from other teams
hmm
play. So just off of the financial aspect alone, they really not trying to let him walk up the door. So like you said, hopefully they can find some common ground. I'm pretty sure they will because, like I said, Lamar loves it here and they want him here. So but yeah, it wouldn't be in his best interest or the team best interest for him playing. He not 100.
You know something I think they probably should do, and I think that would make Lamar probably feel a little bit better, and maybe the fan base too. And I don't know how early this could be done, but get rid of Greg Roman, and it's not to be the deal horse, but it's time for something new. We really don't even have to get rid of him if his contract has expired. You know what I mean? Like we just don't have to bring him back. So get a creative offensive coordinator in here and get a wide receiver here. Like and I'm saying try if it's possible to do stuff like that, which I know we can do the offensive coordinator before we can do anything with Lamar. But while we're in the process of negotiating with Lamar, let's try to get a wide receiver in here too to let him know or see like, hey, like we trying, we trying to do this for you because I think everybody knows he could use a wide receiver. And this might be the offseason to get something like that done. And if that means giving up a first round pick, you might have to do that.
Might ain't gotta do that. Just open a checkbook. That's all. It's just like how we wouldn't pay Marcus Williams, which we're all glad we got. But
hmm
how you kick that money up for him, do the same thing for a receiver. It's not hard, Shannon.
Now I don't know. I don't know what receivers are going to be free agents. Like I would have to look that up. But I was more or less thinking like DJ Moore. I'm thinking about people who could be younger and can grow with the young guys, the young core that we might have over the next 5 years. So that's why I was thinking would be willing to.
She went out for a second. Give her a second. Okay, she chatting.
I'm sorry. I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, I always smart on that. But yeah, like you said, and DJ Moore is under contract too for like 3, 4 years. That seems better, you know. So when you trade for him, all you gotta do is just work the numbers out and bring him back. You know, it make it. So that's actually a good idea. If the Panthers want to go that route and trade him and get first, because like I said, he just signed a 3 year extension. If the numbers are a little high, you can restructure, you know, and move that around. There's always ways for that. But like
Mm-hmm.
I'll get Hopkins, you can get him and just restructure his deal, because he's already under contract. So it'd be in their best interest to pay for somebody like you just said that's already under contract, and you could just rework the numbers. Because like I said, where's
Mm-hmm.
free agent with get a brand new deal. I mean, if we gotta go that route, so be it. But, first it all starts with getting rid of Greg Roman. He done some good things the last 2, 3 years. Just it went downhill because everybody caught on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
He just got believing his duties. If he doesn't get a head coaching job, I would say give him an offensive coordinator shot. With that, air raid and all that, and Lamar will definitely be an MVP conversation playing in that system. But then if you go put the Hopkins on him, who already knows the system, and pair him with Lamar and that, man, you'll see Lamar put up like numbers that Jalen Hurts putting up, and so forth, so forth, so forth.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Brown, y'all them believe it or not. If we just
I think he should. I think he should be the quarterback because if Huntley's shoulder is jacked up, like they're saying, like why even put him out there? It's the same thing with Lamar and the knee. Like he can barely pass for 10 yards now.
right,
So why we want to put him out there with a bum shoulder?
yeah, just let Brett Hundley be the backup and just roll Brown.
Yeah.
He still can move around a little
And
bit.
and he looked a little better as the game went on, last week. So
And that was
you
what
know,
happened starters he wasn't out there with. So now he gets Andrews and JK and
right.
other so he's still on line and then the defense they have half their starters wasn't playing. I think we like I said, I think he can shock the world. We've been seeing stuff like that happen before.
Oh yeah, we have.
All right, let's just get into the playoff matchup. We didn't cover those two things. So just I start with the coaching things that Taylor and Harbaugh.
Um, I think the Bengals have a good young coach. Obviously, if you can make it get your team to the Super Bowl, you got to be a good coach. Um, I think that he gets as fired up as his guys get fired up because a lot of the things that they've been saying over the past week, since their game got canceled against the Bills, I just didn't understand why they even were saying the things they were saying. Only because that's something we've never seen before. And they were acting like they were the only ones affected by the changes that were made. So that kind of made me look at them like, keep that in house. Like, even if you legit feel that way, I wouldn't even come out publicly saying it because y'all look weird to me. Maybe not to anybody else, but it's just weird to me that y'all even complaining about it. Particularly when we just got note that if I think it said if the Chiefs and the Bills meet in the AFC Championship, they have to play in Atlanta. So that means that everybody in the AFC was affected by that. And y'all were just upset over a coin toss, even though y'all were gifted the division anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever with that. But overall, I think he's a good coach. And I think he will have his guys prepared. He doesn't need to do all the extra antics. And the guys over there are pretty good as well. They don't have to do all the extra antics and try to amp people up and have bulletin board material for themselves because they're the only ones. Well, they started it. I won't say they're the only ones talking, but they started it. But overall, he's a good coach. John Harbaugh, you know how I feel about John Harbaugh. We're in the playoffs. I would always say take the points. Over the past couple of years, particularly the past 2 years, it seems like John Harbaugh he's so trusting of, I would say, Lamar. but we've seen him not take the points even without Lamar. So I don't know what it is. I'm tired of the analytics. I don't care about that. We have to play a smart ball game, and I think that John Harbaugh knows how to do that because he's prepared us in other times where we weren't expected to win games, and we can go back to all the playoff games we went into New England. We weren't favorites, and we all probably felt like we didn't have a chance to win them games. And even when we went and played the Steelers and beat them, with a patchwork secondary, like we've had teams that we've questioned before. So this one is a little different. I will say I haven't felt this nervous about a team. This is probably the nervous I've ever been because even in 2000 it was different in 2000 because we were on a win streak going into the playoffs. So it felt different. This is a little different because I know we're struggling to score offensively. Our defense is good, but it's not 2000 great, But that doesn't mean that we couldn't go in there if we have the same game plan that we've had, like people have brought up today, the New England game against the Patriots in 2009,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
running the ball, right? Defense, right? But in order to do that, we have to start fast. If we start fast and actually score points, I like our chances, right? So I think that John Harbaugh can get us prepared for that because he's done it before. So that's my thoughts on the coaches.
Well said. Piggyback on what you said. Yeah, Zach Taylor, a pretty solid coach. A lot of people don't notice he was about to get fired. He's
When?
about because after the first 2 years, mind you, they didn't have a good record. And the
Mm,
Bengals thinks that Mr. Brown, like Mike Brown, like, did I make the right choice? He gave him a leeway because and then last year they made a run. But before that, he was on the chopping block. He was on the chopping block. Another young offensive guy can't really handle his own piggyback and all because he was under McVay. He was under
mm-hmm.
McVay. So like the one who come from another coaching tree can't really do nothing on his own, like Matt Patricia and all that. But then Fort Fire, Joe Burrow healthy, get Jamal Chase, which was great. Like he's familiar, college roommates. So yeah, that felt right. That's why remember everybody said why didn't he take the offensive line? Why didn't he take some put the Macy Wells, the tackles? Like you don't pass up on a receiver that your quarterback got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can always find a way to pass the line up, whatever, get it, that'll my later round spot. That's why you don't pass on that kid. But to say that now, they go and get the Super Bowl, probably should have won it. Had some, Aaron Donald was that great. So so now, like I said, now the older got more confident. Like, okay, he's, show me that he's back. And then this year they start off slow, and get rolling. I think after we beat them, they went on a nice low win streak. So
Yeah.
back to back wins. Of course, like I said, I'm hard on Harbaugh only because he's been around football his whole entire father, brother, family. So it's like, and the decisions he makes, it just makes me scratch my head. Like they make the decisions of a rookie head coach, and he's been coaching football for 30 something years. That's why I'm always calling him. The man's a phenomenal coach. The record and numbers speak for itself. So it's like, but it's just like you got to stop with the situational coaching. You just have to take the point. Know when you can go for it. Then get on your coordinators. If you see the run is working, you need to go to Greg Roman. Like, man, hey, like stick with it.
Stick with it, right?
Same thing with Mike McDonald. If you see he blitzing too much and is getting his kid, hey, you gotta cut back on that. Play a little bit more man. Mix it up with some zone. You gotta be on the coordinators more. But like I said, it's definitely going on. How about we pull this out though? That'll definitely make me earn a little bit more of respect for him than I would. Winner with your third string quarterback in the playoffs, that'll definitely. I'll back up off him for a little bit if we fall that. It's just like if he was a rookie head coach or second year head coach making those mistakes, I was like, okay. But like coaching here 15 years, he was coaching in the NFL overall for over 20 plus. He was in Philadelphia and all that stuff like that. You shouldn't be making.
You know what's crazy? Well, not crazy, but it's just when you have success, like success can be a good and bad thing for players, for anybody really, right? So let's just talk about coaches. Like I think winning the Super Bowl was a great thing for John Harbaugh, but it could have also been a bad thing because then it gave him a little bit more. power and say so within an organization, right? So some people are just stuck in their ways, and that's why people say a message grows old. I mean, we could be at that point with John Harbaugh where you feel like a message grows old. Um, like on one hand, people always say, well, if we fire John Harbaugh, who would we get to replace him? And I'm one of those people that say the same thing because that's my fears. Like, firing him, then what? I look at all these other organizations and I'm like, they just hire guys trying to find the right fit. But like Rob Long said on the radio, I believe it was this week, just like we didn't know who John Harbaugh was, you can hire somebody and don't know who they are and they can come in and do the same thing. So and sometimes a message does grow old. You know what I mean? Like Andy Reid was great for Philadelphia, but then the message grew old. Now he's in Kansas City and on a whole nother run.
Winning.
Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be mad and upset if John Harbaugh goes somewhere else and have like instant success somewhere else too. I would be a little jealous. I would, but I would want us to win. I mean, like the Eagles can probably eat that because they won, right? But have they not won and he over there doing that with Kansas City, trust me, they would feel away. Um, but I don't think he's going to get fired though. I really don't. I think that like after this year, regardless, unless him and Steve just get into a big falling out, I don't see him getting fired because what I mean, we're in the playoffs again without your starting quarterback again. Like he may get on our nerves, but I think John will be back next year. And I think to get the changes that we want offensively, we just have to get another offensive coordinator. And maybe he doesn't need to be involved with who that is because when it's his friends, it seems like it don't work out. So maybe that's what Steve Bisciotti can do: put his foot down and say, "You're not picking the OC."
He did it before, and it worked.
Yeah, yeah.
Had Denver not had an opening, Kuviat probably would still be here to this day.
I was so mad because that was the best we ever. That was the best year Joe Flacco ever had. Now imagine what things could have been like if he got 2 or 3 years in that offense, or with Kubiak.
Could have probably won an MVP. That was his dream job, so I already knew he was going to. He
Of
played
course, of course.
there with Coach Elway, so that was But Joe would have definitely won an MVP if he had stayed in that offense.
Or at least been in the conversation at some point.
I think he would have won one because he was looked at great in that offense for one season. Now, year to year to year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you just said, like John, like I could go back to what I was saying. He's definitely a phenomenal coach. He got to stop getting in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
Which then come press conference, just hit you with the old louder gag. Just you got to hold yourself accountable. Like, hey, I shouldn't have made that call. That's all you eat it. You will respect it more than keep trying to go with the bull crap overs, analytical, this percentages. Like, just eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And you own it and stand behind it. Then people will back up off you a little bit more. But like you said, remember in 2018, they looked like mutually part ways with him. So I ain't like it definitely came a time where it was going to happen.
No,
Mark
yeah.
did his thing, boom, boom, all's forgotten. But so
But I think that was more about, if I'm not mistaken, he had 1 year left on his contract then. Most coaches don't want to be playing coaching until 1 year. So Steve Bisciotti probably was like, I don't want to extend you right now because look at what it's been over the past couple of years. And John Harbaugh probably was like, I don't want to coach here on a 1 year deal, right? Then you go on a run like we did once Flacco got hurt. How do you fire John Harbaugh? Somebody had to okay it to be all about Lamar at that point. Somebody had to say, no, Joe Flacco, you not playing. We gonna stick with Lamar because remember Joe Flacco towards the end he was supposed to be well enough to come back. They were acting as if he could have come back. So I think he was about to be out the door in 2018, but a lot played into that. I think it was more like when they say mutually agreed to part ways. I think that was true. Like I think that John Harbaugh didn't want to coach on a 1 year deal, and I think Steve Bisciotti was like, and I don't want to extend you. So they was like, all right, well we'll just part ways. But then when you win, what can you do?
yeah, that's very true. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we talk quarterbacks. We can start with Joe Burrow first. Just give me a thought. Joe Burrow.
I know people don't like him, but I like Joe Burrow.
About that boxing.
You don't like him?
I know. I do. Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's cheap. Because he say stuff and like when he said I think he was on Full Send podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He said something about he asked him about the ride with the Ravens. He said, man, yeah, they bring it, man. He said, but then I threw for 400 yards one game, 500 yards, and two. So I threw for 1,000 yards 2 games last year. What we had on the injury. So a lot of that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but
But it's true, he did, right? people got mad about a quote that he posted. What he said when I guess the question might have been, what do you consider your Super Bowl window? And he said, "My career is my window." And a Steelers fan posted, or Ravens fans, y'all should feel disrespected. I said, for what? He can't be confident in himself. Like if he feel like his window, if he feel like every time I step on that field, I got a chance to win. That means every season I feel like this is my chance to win a Super Bowl. What's wrong with that?
You said the right thing. What are you supposed to say? 4 years?
Yeah, it's not wrong with that. I like Joe Burrow, and I feel like he, if we can get him to turn the ball, like we can get some turnovers off him, we stand a great chance to win. If we can't like get some turnovers, it might be a long day because for whatever reason they got it in their head that somebody did something to them. So they coming out there with a different edge and they're gonna want to start fast. So yeah, Joe Burrow. I mean, I expect him to do what he do. Like I said, I have high praise for him. So it'll be a long day for our defense, but I think that if we can create turnovers with him over on him, like get him to turn the ball over, that'll help us out a lot.
I agree. Like I said, he definitely coming in. Like you said, they're gonna use the dirty hit little tactic thing to fuel him up a little bit, I guess. But like you said, we definitely got him. If we don't, it's gonna be in trouble. We're gonna get shellacked. I'm just being honest. If he got time to throw the ball, that mind you got three receivers that
Right.
he's not taking four, eight hurts no well. And Joe Mixon, so they got weapons galore. So we have to get some pressure. Like it's just nowhere in the world. We got to get out. Yeah, he gonna put
Like
up.
go back to that first game, and we played well against them in that first game.
Yeah, and I agree. But you know what Bengals fans said to me in Twitter Spaces? No,
But
no T Higgins. So that's why we was able to focus on strictly Lamar because they had no T Higgins on the other side. That was the excuse. I didn't say nothing.
I
I said
mean,
last year when we had the guys up there covering these guys and y'all shredded us. So we just want to act like that didn't happen. But they didn't want that.
but we got different people in our secondary too this year, different from last year. So it should be a good game. Like I said, they it should be good. Like, but Joe Burrow's a beast to me. He's definitely in a conversation of top five at this point. He got to be.
Y'all in me personally, but yeah. Let's talk about Anthony Brown. You can go first.
I mean, that's not much to say about him. He's a rookie. He's been thrown into the fire because of the circumstances with Lamar getting hurt, Tyler Huntley getting hurt. Like I said, I feel like he should start over Huntley because Huntley's hurt. Huntley's already limited. Let's not put him out there and make this even worse than what it needs to be. If Anthony Brown's been the one that's been practicing all week, let him start the game on Sunday. I think he'll give us a better chance to win against Huntley just off the strength of Huntley's shoulder being messed up. Like, what's going to happen if he go out there? Like, it's not going to get any better. Is my point. So, if Anthony Brown, out of the quarterbacks on the roster, he gives us the best chance to go out there and compete. And if he cannot turn the ball over, because he did have what 2 interceptions, he had 2 interceptions early in the first half of the game last week. If that doesn't happen, it could be a different game, right? So as long as he can protect the ball, the reason why I'm looking forward to him starting is because I know he'll get the ball down the field. And if we can, if Greg Roman can find a way to be creative, it can open things up. Like I definitely think we need to establish the run. I always say, don't get too cute. Don't try to get outside yourself and do things that we're not used to. But when you have a rookie quarterback, as long as he limits his
Mm-hmm.
mistakes, because he made a few mistakes, then we'll be okay. But he gives us the best chance to win. I don't really have too much to say about him because it's not much to, go off of, and it would be unfair to just judge him just based on the circumstances of why he's playing and how he's had to come in and play games.
Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second, Shannon.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. Tyler Huntley's shoulder messed up, so it's like can't go to him. Brett Huntley didn't get no reps, so in a Lamar situation. And the kid played well. He played well for like given the circumstances. He didn't really take no first team reps. Woman, he did okay. He had some interceptions that he probably would like to head back. But also, his receivers got to help him out. Y'all got to step up. James Prochet, you can't step out of bounds and then want to come. You know what I'm saying? Like Sammy Watkins, you got to get over. Everybody has to do their part to help this kid out. Like, can't just go up there and be Superman. You know,
Mm-hmm.
help him out. I think he'll be. As long as the run game works, he's playing well enough. we call a good game plan, which that's kid
Big name, man.
Okay.
Roman play calling, but I think the kids can do enough for us to win the game. All right,
Mm-hmm.
Cam, throw quarterback. Joe Burrow.
You going in and out. Sorry, brother. I'm sorry. What you say?
Look, give me your thoughts on the quarterbacks into this playoff game. Joe Burrow and Brown.
Um, personally, I don't like Joe Burrow, but I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I have my reasons for not. I don't like arrogance. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I don't like it is because if he was Cam Newton, it'd be a different story. Same thing. He was arrogant. Don't like arrogance. But as far as him as a quarterback, the system fits him. He's good. As far as on our end, I'm dying slow inside because 8 ain't gonna play. I heard y'all talking about AB and Huntley. I don't know who should play. To be honest with you, I don't know. I'm like flip a coin at this point, man. It's disturbing because I mean we can't even run the RPO game. Like if I was on the defense, I don't fear Huntley, nor do I fear AB running. Even though I know they can run, it's just how they see the field when they do run. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's my thing. Like I'm not asking you to be Lamar. I'm asking you just to get upfield and get out of balance. Like Huntley don't know how to just get down. And for Anthony Brown, the fact that he's still the fact that he's still young in the game, I don't think it's not processing fast enough. You know what I'm saying? To where he's like, if you don't see it, take off. Like what he does do, what Huntley doesn't, is I think you guys said this. I clicked off when I was hitting the link. He does try to scan the field, and go from his progressions. Huntley is, if I don't see one, I'm out of there. You know what I mean? I'm out the back door. So I do like that about him. So we'll see. I mean, I do agree, Shannon, what you're saying. Like, if he's been out there taking all the snaps, let him play. I do agree with that. But at the same time, like, I don't know why. I guess a part of me feels a little bit more comfortable with Tyler Huntley. I guess because he's been in the system for 3 years, But I wish, in my heart of hearts, I just wish, just to create fear. If he said if his knee was stable enough and he just wore a brace, just 8 being there is going to scare you. At least he knows he can push the ball. It doesn't matter, and just give him, if he gets enough time. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest thing. Like, they gotta know where to place the ball and push the ball. Like, this is one of those times that I think that Lamar can really show how good of a passer he is. Oh man, I passed my start. But that's about it. Go ahead.
Running back matchup, you got Joe Mixon. I forgot who they put. Samaj P. Ryan, you got Gus, J.
Yeah.
Me. I think that. I think the Bengals have good running backs. I like Joe Mixon as well. Like I said, I like a lot of the guys they have over there. They're talented. Like they've always had talent. That's never been an issue lacking with the Bengals. So after what we saw against the Steelers, like I think I'm more confident in our run game. I'm more confident in our defense slowing down their run game than what I've seen in past weeks because we are going to have guys back. So I think that we can limit them to 100 yards, hopefully under. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think them beating us is going to be through the run game. Is my point. If they beat us, it'll be probably through the air or something like that. Our running backs, I love our running backs, but it always goes back to coaching because if you can't explain to us why Gus didn't touch the ball in one game, then I don't know what you're going to do in the playoffs, right? We need to play. We need the 1-2 punch, and we need to obviously Dub is a starter, but you have to include Just in the game plan. Like, don't get them lost in the sauce. And if you can be creative enough, include Drake in it too. You know, like he can make plays and do different things as well. I'm really confident in our run game, and if that's good, then I think that's the best chance we stand on offense to beat them. Run the ball, eat up clock, try to keep them off the field, and score when we can, and we can do that running the ball.
All right, go ahead, Kat.
With you.
We all
Totally
we all
agree. Like I
know
think
running back.
I think we have a huh?
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah. I think I totally agree about the running backs. Hello?
Yeah.
You get-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
you can hear you,
Y'all
Kat.
hear me or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm saying that I totally agree about the running backs. I think that having Gus finally have it is going to go down to the play calling. Um, I think we need to run a little bit more stretch zone and get Rita tired and the D tackle side and run at the edge plays a little I can't think of their names though, but running at the D ends and just tie them down, man. Punch them in the face a little bit more, and then that might help up as far as like setting up the pass. I hope that that'll help open up some things, and then also the checkdowns, getting the ball out of the backfield. Um, Joe Mixon, he's a good back. Even P-Ron, they've been teammates since they was in Oklahoma, so they're both good backs. You know, I don't think it's a wash that way, but I think that we do have I'm more confident in our backfield. Put it that way.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a big game. That's teammates for a minute. Maybe the OU. But we're going to come down to J.K. Josh. Just to say, hopefully, as you said, man, it's a strengthening and the way you know, just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, go to the back and wear them down, and then hit them with play action pass, go to aim, whoever, Sean Jackson, I don't know who else we want to have on there. Sammy Watkins hit those guys, and just make the game manageable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Go down, man. And everything will be okay. All right,
Yeah.
wide receiver,
Well, we know the Bengals got wide receivers. If one thing they got one, two, three. They got more. They got a lot of wide receivers. So it's gonna be a long day for our secondary. With those guys, um, I I have nothing bad to say about them. Like that's who scares me is their wide receivers offensively. Okay, and if them and Joe Burrow get going, that's gonna be a long day in the office for us. Our wide receivers, it ain't nothing to talk about with them. Like,
they got to.
I mean, they. I feel like this. At this point, we don't have anything to lose. At this point, right? This is gonna go home. So whatever they got in their bag, whatever they can do, let this be your best effort ever. And I hope they can pull through for us. But I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I expect them to when they haven't come through all year. You know what I mean? So yeah, like whatever they can contribute will be a good thing. Put it that way.
Go ahead, Cat.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is my problem. I think D-Rod, and this is a discussion I had with somebody. I think I told you just about this a while ago, back when we played Carolina. Somebody was like, we need to make D-Rob um, wide receiver one, anybody under that Andy Reid tree, so on and so forth. I think he's a good receiver. I don't think he's a consistent receiver, and I damn sure don't think he's the number one receiver. Now, if this is the last, if this is gonna be the last stand, damn it, then you need to give everybody a chance. And I'm trying to figure out.
Mhm.
I know Tyler just got off an injury, and I've been pressing for him. He don't.
Yeah,
He don't drop any passes. That's
yeah,
that's my thing. Just catch the damn ball, huh?
he caught 2 catches last week, I think.
Oh, Tyler, no, he had one, but I'm saying he's not getting the opportunities that everybody else is getting. and you drafted him. You got lucky. We got lucky and caught him. Isn't like it was one time he was streaking down the sideline wide open, but again, you got to be able to see the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get him. But I just think that he let him get. If you're gonna give D-Rob all these opportunities, why can't Tylen get some of these opportunities? You don't need all of them. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Like we'll never know how good any of our receivers are. I'm talking about the ones that we drafted. If they don't get an opportunity to catch, to do something. And every time he's been out there, he's just caught the ball. Other than that one time that the ball was overthrown by Lamar in the first Cincinnati game that we played. But that's just everybody need to get an opportunity. As far as Cincinnati receivers, y'all already know they good. I can't say nothing bad about them. They got that locked and loaded, and they've always had that.
Always.
Yeah.
Like you told the Bengals first up in the too long. Like they group, like they always say we had the ball. We had AJ Green, Marvin Jones, Tyler Boyd, Ed John, Richard Dallas, Gold, Steve Side, Aaron Rodgers, Tyler Boyd. They always had the ball. We definitely got to throw those guys that not we gotta let the guys our receivers, like you said, DeMarcus Robinson and Brandon Watkins, you gotta make them get one or two because they've been here in the playoffs, they won a Super Bowl and put it together. You gotta let you guys be a 1 and 2. Slot guys, yes, you can play with Crochet and Tyler Wallace there. And Isabella gets some more he's fast. You could use him the same way you do the jet screen, bubble screen. You just take a shot, ball down the field. You got rid of Sean Jackson. You got somebody that is perfect. It's not my guy. It's like no problem. Greg, FBO, everything in the boat. No more boat. Everything is out. All. It's true. All right, offensive line.
Honestly, I can't say too much about the Bengals offensive line negatively or positively because I haven't watched a whole lot of them. But I feel like with both offensive line, well, for us first, I can speak about us, right? I don't think we have an issue with blocking for the run. Like most offensive linemen, they like to do that. Lamar has been hurt the past 2 years, and it's been in the pocket, right? So we have to do better with protecting him, not just him, but all of the quarterbacks with the pass protection. Period. If we don't do that, it's going to be a long day with no matter who's the quarterback, right? But then it goes back to the question I posed before. Like it's hard to it may be hard to pass protect for a quarterback that might take off running because you don't know where he's going to go at versus a prototypical quarterback. He's going to be in that little box, and the most he might do is move up to avoid a sack or something like that. So, but at this point, almost 4 or 5 years in the system, or playing with a quarterback like that, some of them should be used to it. But I think that our defensive line will have their work cut out for them with the Bengals offensive line just because we know what they're capable of doing offensively. And you're not able to do the things they can do without having an offensive line. So I would think that they're okay enough. I know last year was a lot of talk about their offensive line, how bad it was, and they still got to the daggone Super Bowl. So I don't go too much into narratives, honestly. Like once you line up, we all know is one up front on both sides of the ball. So both offensive lines on both sides is important to them winning the game. But for us, speaking for us, I just hope that we can be better with pass protection. If we can pass protect better, I think that like we said, if Anthony Brown starts, we know what he likes to do as far as like he will, look around a little bit more, right? So pass protecting better for him could benefit us. Maybe he can make better decisions. But that's all I got for the offensive line. Like I said, it starts up front. So for both teams, they're going to set the standard with what it's going to be. They'll set the tone what it's going to be.
Don't say it, Shannon. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, I think we got to take advantage of their whole right side being hurt. That's one with the backup tackle and the backup right guard. So we definitely got to take advantage of that as far as especially pass rush and what have you. Um, as far as our line, I like our line. I mean, I again, I'm trying to measure it off of what we just did this past game, just to see. I felt like they was trying to test the waters about, because it's the second game and knowing that it didn't mean anything. Like I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out were they really like testing the water as far as like, okay, what could work against Cincinnati's line, what can't work, and same thing with the O line. Like some of those plays, like the game was over, we still trying to throw the ball. You know what I mean? Like we just like you trying to figure something out. So as far as our line is concerned, man, I think they're solid. I think other than that and that was because Josh Oliver was trying to block their best outside linebacker, which I didn't understand in the Denver game when Lamar got hurt. Um, I think Mosley, excuse me. I think Moses has done a good job, definitely in the run game. He's rejuvenated himself, but Linderbaum has been A1, and I think Stanley gonna play like the normal Ronnie Stanley. I think he was testing because I ain't never seen him on skates like that. Like it looked weird to me seeing him play like that this past game. So you know I expect him to come out there and handle business this game on that end.
I agree. I'm still the thing. He has to change, like you said, Shannon. And you had a bad line last year to deal with the Super Bowls. That just shows you how Moxie Burrow got to have a line like they got. He got gave him a 9 sacks against Tennessee last year. They went and got layout Collins, Terry Alex Cowboy. So they moved the pieces around. They started off down, they rolling the ball well, throwing the ball all over the yard. So they O-line definitely fine and clicking the cap. That's expected when you bring in the season. Our offensive line, like I think, Morgan Moses, we finally got a staple at right tackle. Remember, running the waiver. They didn't wake up. They didn't wake up. Wanted to play the blind side, power to him, but Morgan Moses, Black Wilson's been coming over here for the that high running pass, letting the ball, doing his thing, man. Of course, he had some moments and he lost some battles. That's what happened. But kid is absolutely man. The linebacker, they said second level, he's right there in his face because he can do thing. So left guard Powers has been up and down, but as of late, he's been pretty good. So contract year, he's trying to see if he can get extended. And then the All Pro, that's a game. But since he's been on the team, that he's giving up his back. They definitely gonna have to win the game up front. All right, now we're gonna go to defensive side of the ball. Defensive line.
Um, well, the Bengals have always had a pretty good defensive line to me. I, like I said, I haven't watched many of their games this year, but I know a lot from watching them last year. They're one of the few teams that can rush forward and still get to the quarterback. So it won't be. It's going to be a long day for us. Period. Going against them. As far as we're concerned, like I said, having guys back, particularly Calais Campbell, I think that works wonders for us. I think our defensive line has been one of the strong suits all year, and it helps with our linebackers with the year that they've had. So I think it's going to be a battle. Like I said when we were talking about the offensive lines, it's going to start up front for both sides, and it's about setting the tempo. Like I told you when we first started, I feel like the Bengals have been trying to psych themselves up this week, like with all the talk that they've been doing, and it's like, what's all that for? Like, it for me, it's like if you just go out there and play just regular AFC North football, it's gonna be what's the word I'm looking for? Chippy anyway. It's gonna be chippy anyway, right? So we don't have to
Mm-hmm.
add no extra stuff to it. We've always had little back and forths. Maybe Terrell Suggs might wear a T-shirt or something like that. crying about the dirtiness and things like that, I was like, what the heck? And that seemed like that was coming from defensive players on their side, which was confusing. I'm like, so what was happening? But like I said, the temp is going to start up front on both sides. I think both defensive lines are pretty good. But I think the edge they have over us is that they probably can get to our quarterback a little better than we can get to theirs. But I'm not afraid. Like I don't think that like they're that much better than our defensive line.
Okay, go ahead, Ken.
This is my rule, Shannon. If you complaining, guess what that means? You're doing it.
Right.
If you complaining about dirtiness, that means you're doing it. And they've been, and if you look at any of the videos, it's been every video I seen, they were doing all the dirt. But like whatever's gonna get you pumped for this game, you got to do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you got to do. So, as far as defensive line on both ends, it's a wash in that way because both of us got a Cincinnati as well as us. Both of us have a solid defensive line. Talking about two solid defenses all around, but I think we got enough, man, to make something happen with four, just like they have enough to make something happen with four. Cincinnati they definitely got a solid defensive line though.
Oh yeah, both units. DJ Reader, you got Trey Hendrickson, who else? Hubbard and all those guys like that. They deal with system. So like you said, Shannon, they probably got a little better luck getting back, but I got confident of that. Hopefully, his plays. Roger Washington, I think we definitely and Brent Urban has been giving us a little something. He got a little something. So, them guys are front. And Travis Jones is a good guy. You see that so well. It's an even game. All right, I'm combine the outside linebacker and middle linebacker together. Same old time. You go ahead and start for sure.
Same thing I always tell y'all about other teams. Like I can't speak too much to other teams as much as I can speak to ours. But with the Ravens linebackers, obviously getting to the quarterback is an issue with the outside linebackers. I mean, they can get there, they'll be almost there, but it'd be like, eh. And I feel like we need that. Like if they've never pulled it out more any time this year, we need that on Sunday. Because like I said when we were talking about Joe Burrow, if he's comfortable back there, if we're not creating turnovers, we're not going to have a chance. And that's going to start with the guys up front, including the outside linebackers. Inside linebackers, I'm not worried about them at all. I feel like I love what they said in the press conference, Queen and Roquan. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, nobody's running from no smoke. It is what it is, and I feel like they're gonna be ready. Like I just feel like defensively, I'm not worried when it comes to the Ravens. I feel like I feel like what we're going to see on the defense is what you're used to with the linebackers and the defensive line. But with the Bengals, like I said, I think it's AFC North football. Everybody tries to stop the run, so I'm sure that's what they're going to try to stop us from doing because that's the best thing that we can do. But I still feel like we're going to have a good day running the ball. So I'll take our linebackers over theirs any day. I just wish we had more help, consistent help, pass rush from the outside linebackers.
Well said. Go ahead, Cam.
I think inside linebackers for us are going to be solid. They've been solid this whole time. I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think all the trash talking is actually working in our favor because that's when we really step up. That's been our MO. I don't care from when Ray was there all the way up to now. Like you start talking trash, that you give me a reason to smack you in the face. So why give me more reason now? So I love it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy the fact that it's gonna get real. It's gonna be like a Steelers game in that aspect, and I think that's gonna help out in a lot of areas from the pass rush. I think they coming alive here. I think maybe the green light is starting to come on. The switch probably hit for OA. I mean, he's done his part as far as on the holding in as far as the run. I think the pass rush. I think he's getting more um, confidence in his movement, especially when his boy is out there, when David is out there. So I think something. I don't know. I got some as far as the defense is concerned and the pass rush is concerned. I got a good feeling about the game as far as how they gonna play. But that's about it.
I got like 10 minutes or so, so I'm gonna make this quick. Uh,
Yeah.
linebackers, man, they got it. Bengals, like I said, they run a 4-3, so their linebacker core is different. You know, they got traditional three linebackers. You know, they got Logan Wilson, Lane, Pratt, those guys like that. So their guys gonna more so drop in the coverage without the run. They'll blitz here and there, but you know, so that'll be easier to figure out. They run a traditional 4-3 defense. Us with 3-4, so our outside linebackers stand up there all over the place. And Jabo showed a little something last week. We definitely need something out of no way, oh way. Like I say, he's playing okay in the run, but we didn't draft him well. Not the run. Like I said, he got just a little bit more. Like I said, JPP got just a little bit more. Justin Houston, all those stuff, Bowser, and all that just a little bit more. The inside linebackers, we got him, of course, far the Queen, doing anything. And Logan Wilson is playing pretty good ball. Them two units, especially for us to get Burrow uncomfortable. All right, we're gonna go second. Score prediction. We're gonna get out of here. Go ahead, Shannon.
Is Eli Apple still on the Bengals? Right, he's still playing for them.
Mm-hmm.
I want that smoke with him. He be running his mouth a lot. He's one of them guys I be wanting. And we ain't got no wide receivers, right? We don't have no wide receivers, but I want to smoke with Eli Apple because he always running his mouth. But as far as our secondary is concerned, I like our secondary. I mean, Marlon Humphrey, he hasn't. A lot of people owe him an apology. Put it that way. Whatever you thought about him last year, a lot of people said he fell off. All of that. I feel like this year, you owe him an apology if you felt that way. Now people, my brother for one, my brother, yeah, we can have that discussion another day. But I'm confident in our secondary. That's one of our. I like Kyle Hamilton. I think he's coming along good. They're gonna have the work cut out for him. You know, it's not gonna be easy. They're gonna have to work for it. But I'm confident that they can do it. But I want Eli Apple. I don't know who's gonna get him. I hope they can. I don't care if it's Mark Andrews, but he gets on my nerves. But our secondary, I'm good with them all day.
Yeah. The only thing that's even with us with them as far as is the safeties. They got good safeties. Their corners a suspect. The rookie he's okay, but Apple is suspect. He's been suspect. As far as our secondary, it's starting the gel is there. It's starting to gel even more. And Kyle Hamilton is proven to be worth more than worth. You know, he worth that first round draft pick. You can see what it is, and I could just see him getting better and better as time goes on. That's about it.
Their secondary is okay. You got Dax Hill, Justice Hill's brother. Hopefully, them two get to make some sort of way of a special team. Justice get in, he get to run him over or something. So hopefully, get a little you know, to be able to get at each other one way or another. Like I said, Cheetah Man Woozy, I think he's still hurt. Not sure he may or may not. But I always get burned. Jesse Bates, solid player, pro good player. Well, they can bombed out.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start secondary. I'll secondary to win the game. If you don't win the game, Mario, Pepe Williams, all them guys, and I don't know, Gerald Warley and other people just all play their role. They're going to have to do their thing without, you know, Marcus Williams. He's going to definitely take it. I like our champion, especially if Marcus. We're not saying we know that's what it is. Both kickers got to field goals. Both kickers go ahead. All right, score predictions if you want to give them or just give them up. You can go first, Shannon.
Ravens can win a game. Like I said when we first started, we've been here before. We went into playoff games as an underdog. We went into playoff games on the road with teams that we as fans weren't confident in, and we won the game. If we could start fast and score the ball, eat up clock, and do what we do best, and create turnovers and limit turnovers on our offensive side, we can definitely win this game. I don't think it's a wash like a lot of people assume it's going to be. I think not having Lamar makes people feel like that's what it's going to be. But I feel like this is still going to be AFC North football at the end of the day, and the people are going to be reminded of that when the playoffs start. Um, Now, even though I think that we going to go in there and it might be a good game, I'm not confident to say we're going to win the game. I think we'll put up a good fight. I don't think we're going to go in there and get embarrassed. I think the score will probably be something like Bengals 24, Ravens 19.
Okay, go ahead, Ken.
I think I think I don't never give score predictions. I
I
might
know
give
that.
one. No, I'm just saying I might give one today, man. I mean,
Okay, if
my
you
boy not playing. Oh, no, listen to what I'm saying. I really feel like if you got to use something to hype you up for a playoff game, then you're not focused. You see what I'm saying? And I think you overconfident, and I think they're a little bit cocky, right? Well, they're a lot cocky, especially when your quarterback comes out and say what he says, And I understand, we got a Super Bowl chance as long as I'm here, whatever, blah blah blah. I got a feeling, man. It's going to be some knockout blows this game, bro. I'm being honest with you. It's going to be. I don't care how cold it is. It's going to be some ground. It's not going to be good. And historically, we have won games like this that we were not supposed to win. That's one reason I think we're going to win. Another reason is, I got a feeling. I mean, our defense going to have a lot to say as far. I think we're going to get a defensive score, and I honestly think that they're a little bit overconfident with it. And I think also, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think anytime they played in the playoffs and they played the AFC North team, Cincinnati has lost. I think they played Pittsburgh twice. Am I correct? And they lost both games.
yeah, the one
Yeah.
that knocked out, not the one with Andy got. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So that gives me hope. Another thing that gives me hope, I don't know, bro. I just gotta feel. I don't know if Lamar gonna pull something out of his hat and he gonna show up. I don't know. I just got a feeling that we gonna win. My score prediction, honestly, is like I want to say I'm gonna be. This is bold as hell. I'm gonna say like 24-13. Like we gonna hold them. Like because I just gotta, and I don't wish no bad on nobody. Trust me, I don't wish. That's not what I'm not a dirty person in any form of fashion. I just don't think a lot of their players gonna finish the game, bro. And it's not because Jokers is gonna be out with like bad injury, but they not gonna be able to physically finish the game. Like you know how hard it is when the Steelers in Pittsburgh play. I'm sorry, when the Steelers in Pittsburgh, when the Steelers and the Ravens play, a lot of Jokers can't finish the game. Like they feeling it. You understand what I'm saying? When we play Cincinnati and when we play Cleveland, it ain't. It's like that, but it ain't like that. Like you playing your big brother, and you got to be like, yo, I'm the toughest one here. But when Jokers really start talking cash like this, it just feel like the way that PQ and Roquan was talking, I was like, yo, this is about to be like for real. This is about to be one of them old school bangers. Like that's where I see it's going. You know what I mean? I think we're more physical than they are. That's why they play so dirty. That's when you talk about you play dirty. And if you saw all the videos, there's videos of the defensive players pulling players. Like Eli Apple was pulling uh Ben Powers' leg. I don't know why. The play was over. Like they were just doing dirty things. You know what I'm saying? But you saying the Ravens were doing it. So that's it. That's my prediction, bro.
I agree with everything you said. I think they're looking forward to the Bills and Chiefs. They just act like we just want to just come there and roll over, play dead in so many words. So, and I think they just gonna be too overconfident, which is gonna cause some mistakes and stuff like that that we think we capitalize on. I think Anthony Brown played well enough. We don't need him to be, super great. He just don't got to turn the ball over. I think our defense will answer the bell. So I'm gonna go 23-20. I think Justin Tucker going to win in the first. I think it's gonna come out of that. I think they be both teams going to make a big play on special teams defense. If we just go get that last second field to win and go on to the next round shot. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back Tuesday. Do a recap. I know Shannon's out there. I know Show's out there. And so hopefully we get some smiling faces. Everybody, thank you. Please, very you guys to stay out great, confident every day. We hope to my co-host Ken Ruth, our special guest, the lovely Shannon Finch. We out. See you guys too.
Good night.
Have a good night. So